Tellis Taylor, also known as CEO TZ, was found to death in Orange Mound Wednesday.
Taylor, also known as CEO TZ, was found in a very startling turn of events. The individual responsible for orchestrating the attack on Young Dolph has been discovered deceased. However, the footage capturing the final moments of this individual's life has provided a lot more than we anticipate, and not only sheds light on the long-awaited unraveling of the Young Dolph case, but it also signifies a significant step towards justice being served. Young Dolph's people got their long-awaited revenge. Born Adolph Thornton Jr. in Chicago, Young Dolph moved to Memphis at a young age, experienced the hardships of growing up amidst abuse and violence. Determined to support his family, he turned to the illicit world a deal. In interviews, Young Dolph shared the challenges he faced with his grandmother raising him and his siblings in a neighborhood plagued by gang activity and related issues. Young Dolph began releasing mixtapes in the late 2000s and gained recognition for his independent approach to music, often emphasizing the advantages of releasing his work outside of major labels. His last solo album, Rich Slave, debuted at number 4 on the Billboard album chart in 2020. Collaborating with his cousin and protege Key Glock, their albums Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumber 2 achieved significant success. Throughout his career, Young Dolph collaborated with notable artists like Snoop Dogg, Gucci Mane, Megan Thee Stallion, and Young Thug. He was admired for his witty and poignant lyricism, often addressing the spoils of success and the challenges that came with it. His resilience in the face of violence was evident in his music, using his experiences to tell stories of survival and determination. In 2017, Young Dolph was involved in 2 high-profile incidents that were believed to be linked to an ongoing feud between him and fellow Memphis rapper Yo Gotti. Although Young Dolph was the target in both cases, no charges were filed against Yo Gotti. The rapper continued to focus on his music and business ventures, demonstrating his determination to succeed. However, sometime later, Dolph was again faced with gunmen. This time around, he did not make it out alive. Young Dolph lost his life in a tragic incident that shook the music industry and completely changed the rap game to this very day. Dolph was fatally shot in his hometown of Memphis on November 17, 2021. News of this untimely demise, initially reported by Fox 13 Memphis, was confirmed by the mayor, Jim Strickland, who expressed his condolences and emphasized the devastating impact of violent crime on the community. On the day of this homicide, the Memphis Police Department responded to the shooting at the location of Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a bakery frequently visited by Young Dolph. When the police arrived at the crime scene, Dolph was found without any signs of life. According to witnesses and social media posts that came in very early upon the sad news, Young Dolph was at the bakery, his distinctive Corvette parked outside, when the incident occurred. In a chilling act, Young Dolph fell victim to a deadly perpetrated by 2 assailants driving a white 2-door Mercedes-Benz. The autopsy report revealed the harrowing extent of the attack, with Dolph sustaining a shocking 22 with entry and exit points throughout his body. Notably, he suffered wounds to his indicative of the brutality of the attack. Following the tragic incident, the scene of Dolph's death became a magnet for hundreds of onlookers, causing a substantial crowd to form. Law enforcement had to intervene to prevent unauthorized individuals from entering the area, ensuring the integrity of their investigation. In response to the somber event, Tennessee House Representative London Lamar and Memphis Councilman J.B. Smiley voiced their concerns and called for a curfew in Memphis. Their aim was to prevent any potential civil unrest or acts of violence that could arise in the aftermath tragedy, prioritizing the safety and stability of the community. The loss of Young Dolph is a profound tragedy in the music world, leaving behind a legacy of artistic brilliance and resilience. As the investigation into his untimely death unfolds, his contributions to the industry and his impact on the community will forever be remembered. 1.5 years since the tragic that claimed the life of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, the city continues to mourn the loss of the beloved artist. Throughout the city, tributes and reminders of Dolph are scattered as fans seek answers and closure regarding the reasons behind the senseless act. The Memphis Police Department circulated photos of 2 suspects involved in this, showing them holding. Authorities too revealed that the suspects drove up to the cookie store where Dolph was present, quickly exited their vehicle, and opened fire, resulting in Dolph's untimely death. Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies on Airways Boulevard promptly closed after the However, after a 10-month hiatus due to threats, store's owners, Maurice and Pamela Hill, decided to reopen the flagship location on September 17th. The closure left Memphis with only 1 remaining Makita store until that point. Numerous tributes emerged throughout Memphis, honoring Dolph's memory. Artist Cameron Hill painted a mural in South Memphis, commissioned by the Ida Mae Family Foundation. However, the mural was defaced with white paint, leading Dolph's family to cancel the artwork. Currently, a Dolph mural can be found at the corner of Castelia Street and Boyle Avenue in Castelia, Magnolia Heights. Furthermore, the Memphis City Council approved the renaming of Dunn Avenue between Airway Boulevards and Hayes Road to Adolph Young Dolph Thornton Jr. Avenue. Young Dolph's label, Paper Route Empire, continues to carry on his legacy. The label released Long Live Dolph in January, featuring an 8-track tribute by various artists. The CEO of Paper Route Empire, Daddy-O, pledged to fulfill Dolph's vision and keep the label active. While Young Dolph's life was tragically cut short, his impact lives on. The release of a posthumous song titled Hall of Fame serves as a reminder of his lasting influence. The accompanying visualizer showcases Dolph's street name and a bust of his head in front of a wall displaying his albums, immortalizing him in the realm of hip-hop. Young Dolph's impact extended beyond his music. He displayed his generosity and community spirit when he flew 2 employees of a coffee shop who were fired for playing his song to a music festival and gifted them each $10,000. He embraced the opportunities to uplift and support others. Dolph's influence extended to his philanthropic endeavors, his impact on the lives of those around him. Known for his generosity, investments in properties, and support for charitable causes, Dolph's actions reflected his character and his commitment to independence, financial well-being, and mental stability. He visited schools and engaged with students, promoting a bright future. His untimely death cut short a life filled with promise and potential. In his final posts on Twitter, Young Dolph opened up about his mental health struggles, expressing his newfound understanding of anxiety and the need of self-care. Some of his very last tweets wrote, "I never knew what anxiety meant until my doctor just explained to me that I have it this morning. Doctor said I need some me time to myself." In a shocking turn of events, Jamarcus Johnson, a 26-year-old man from Tennessee, has pleaded guilty to his involvement in the murder of Young Dolph. Johnson's role in the crime was assisting the 2 gunmen who carried out the It's important to note that Johnson did not participate in the itself. The car he provided was not the one used in the crime.
Johnston would call the telephone and he'd place the telephone up to another telephone, and they would, in essence, trick Justin Johnson's federal probation officer into believing that Justin Johnson still had his
brother Justin would call the telephone. However, he admitted to aiding the gunmen by facilitating their communication through cell phones while they were on the run and helping one of them contact his probation officer. Johnson also identified a photo where his half-brother, Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, was seen wearing the same clothes as one of the suspected gunmen.
Cell phone that Justin allegedly had with him before and during the murder.
Prosecutor Paul Hagerman explained that Johnson's involvement in the broader context of the crime was significant, though he wasn't directly involved in the shooting. Johnson's guilty plea resulted from a plea deal approved by Judge Lee Coffey, which spares him from going through a trial but may still require his testimony if necessary. In contrast to Johnson's guilty plea, the accused gunmen, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, have pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree murder. Hernandez Govan, who is accused of orchestrating, has also entered a not guilty plea to the charge of first-degree murder. The motive behind Young Dolph's murder remains undisclosed, leaving many questions unanswered and the act of violence senseless.
Continuing that breaking news in Young Dolph's case, Hernandez Govan, one of the prime suspects in the rapper's death, is now out of jail on a $90,000 bond.
Our Jarita Patterson.
Then came an interesting twist of events because the individual believed to be the mastermind behind the intricate scheme to assassinate Young Dolph has astonishingly managed to secure his release from imprisonment by posting bail. Remarkably, this feat was accomplished in less than 12 hours after a judge had set the bail amount. Hernandez Govan, who had previously been indicted for murder in November 2022 and had steadfastly maintained his innocence, had been detained without the possibility of bail. However, during the court proceedings, Govan's newly retained attorney, Manny Aurora, made an appearance on his behalf before Judge Lee Coffey. During this hearing, Judge Coffey, after careful consideration, granted Govan a bail amount to $90,000, subject to specific conditions. If Govan successfully fulfills this obligation, he'll be confined to his residence under strict house arrest, permitted to venture outside solely for medical reasons or when meeting with his legal counsel. Govan stands accused of enlisting his co-defendants, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, in the elaborate plot to carry out the murder of Young Dolph. The decision to grant bail was reached through a consensus between the defense and prosecution, as conveyed to Judge Coffey. While the precise rationales behind this ruling were not divulged, Judge Coffey made it abundantly clear that he refrains from personally investigating cases or delving into their intricate details. Primary prosecutor in the Dolph murder case indicated that the decision was influenced by fresh insights into Govan's role and his medical condition. Importantly, it's been reported that the consent of Dolph's family was sought and obtained prior to the bail being granted. In a joint statement provided by both the defense and prosecution, 3 crucial factors were cited as the basis for agreeing on the bail: a more comprehensive understanding of Govan's alleged involvement in the conspiracy, concerns regarding the defendant's safety and well-being, and a mutual accord on the bail amount of $90K. While expressing unwavering confidence in their ability to establish the charges beyond a reasonable doubt, the district attorney emphasized that there exists no reason to doubt the validity of the indictment. Govan's defense attorney, Manny Aurora, renowned for representing high-profile clients like rapper Lil Durk and conwoman Anna Delvey Sorokin, staunchly supported his client's plea of not guilty and affirmed his unwavering commitment to vigorously contesting the allegations. But the rabbit hole runs deep in this story, and there's more to be told not only about Govan, but about a sinister group of people who contributed to the murder of Young Dolph. The story of the Trula Mafia and their involvement starts with an unfortunate turn of events. A comedian named Darian Childs, expressing his love for Memphis and its gangster culture, posted on Facebook shortly after Dolph's death. However, just hours later, Childs finds himself and killed at a gas station. The getaway vehicle, a white Mercedes, was discovered days later near an abandoned house, linking it to a previous double where 2 women were one fatal. Authorities confirmed that rifles were used in both murders. Adding to the intrigue, Desmond Rogers, a man believed to have informed the police about the abandoned car, was also killed near the same location. This led to speculation that he was targeted because he was perceived as a snitch. Notably, a music video featuring Straight Drop, who we mentioned earlier, rapping in front of that abandoned house, went viral. Another associate named CEO Bobby, whose real name's Joshua Hewlett, was believed to be the owner of the Mercedes and appeared in multiple photos with the car on his now deleted Instagram account. CEO Bobby was known to the police as having been arrested in 2020 for an incident involving fire exchange between cars. Jojo Splat, another associate, was also seen in front of the Mercedes in a music video alongside CEO Bobby and an individual wearing a Bass Pro Shop hat, similar to the one worn by the murder suspect. Furthermore, CEO Bobby was seen wearing a PRE chain, Young Dolph's label, which he allegedly acquired after a PRE member was robbed. However, it was later discovered that the white Mercedes driven by the was, in fact, a stolen vehicle. CEO Bobby was subsequently arrested with weapons and drugs were found in his girlfriend's residence. This led to the speculation that was being investigated in connection with Young Dolph's murder. However, it became apparent that CEO Bobby had no direct involvement but was merely showcasing and boasting about the stolen car. Now, Cornelius Smith, the other suspect, was identified as the thief of the white Mercedes. Smith was already in custody for another crime, specifically auto theft, involving the same vehicle used in Young Dolph's murder. He's currently held without bond at the Shelby County Jail. The intricate web of connections and events surrounding the murder case led to questions about the motives of the crime. Some speculated that the conflict stemmed from the murder of J Money, the brother of D Money and a key member of the Trula Mafia from Memphis. Trula Mafia gained notoriety from their brutal crimes, and CEO Teezy, their alleged leader, had connections to CMG and Yo Gotti. This led to suspicions about a possible rivalry between Young Dolph and the Trula Mafia. As we talked about it earlier, the authorities alleged that Govan had ordered a hit on Young Dolph. The exact motive behind Govan's involvements remain unclear, but he had connections to the music industry, and his daughter, Lotta Cash Desto, was tragically murdered a previous year in Houston. But even though we're not quite sure as of now if it was Govan who ordered the hit, we know for sure that CEO Teezy was involved. He fled the country soon after Dolph was got, and that immediately made him suspicious. However, Teezy was found dead too just a few weeks ago, and that changes the story completely. The victim is Josh Taylor, also known as CEO Teezy. Now we're also getting that this was a hit by PRE, Dolph's gang. This has not been confirmed by MPD, but we do know that Taylor was a person of interest in Dolph's murder. CEO Teezy, who was previously considered a person of interest in the investigation, has recently become a victim of violence, with that occurring in connection with the ongoing case. Joshua Taylor, also known by his alias CEO Teezy, has been found deceased from wounds. Taylor had garnered attention as a person of interest in the murder case involving the renowned rapper Young Dolph. Back in 2021, the police had tied Teezy's name to the murder case of Dolph. However, he was never formally charged in connection with the killing, leaving the circumstances surrounding his own untimely demise shrouded in mystery. On Wednesday, the 14th of June, the Memphis police made a grim discovery of Taylor's lifeless body inside a vehicle at the intersection of Spotswood Avenue and Bunton Street in Memphis. Subsequently, Teezy's family officially confirmed his identity as the deceased. A spokesperson from the Memphis Police Department acknowledged that, as of yet, no suspects have been identified in relation to the incident. Investigation on Taylor's death remains active and ongoing. Some speculate that the people behind the hit could be from paper route and believe this to be retaliation. As of now, we can't say anything with certainty. Only time's gonna tell if this was revenge for Dolph or if TZ had other enemies who wanted him gone. The trials for the suspects may not begin until 2024, and if convicted, they could face lengthy prison sentences. As the case unfolds, witnesses will testify, and the full story is expected to come to light, potentially bringing justice to Young Dolph and his family. We are far from having all the answers to this tragic story of Young Dolph and his death. However, we're getting closer and closer by the day. With TZ out of the frame, perhaps we'll see even more news come to daylight in the near future.